too cold, though. Is it too cold? We'll eat that old dog food. You've already had your food. I gotcha. I gotcha. Well, as you can see, I put the water hose to the mower the last time I mowed, and the crawdad hose that slung so much mud up underneath it, that water hose, you know, it's got that connection on the deck where you stick it on and then you turn the blades on and it cleans up under your deck. It does a pretty good job when it's just grass, but when you got mud and grass, it's not so good. So I got to scrape a lot of this stuff off. I'm gonna put you on fast motion. Okay, now that I got that done, you can see it still looks dirty and everything, but my solution for that is soak the bottom of this deck down with WD-40. It seems to help the grass and stuff not stick too bad. This can is just about empty. I use about a can of this stuff almost every time I do this. Oil soaked dirt is better than water soaked dirt. Okay. Now I went and got these fixed. I hope you guys can hear me. The machinist that I was talking to, when I had those blades on, there's almost 5 inches of clearance from the bottom of that collar to the deck, and I couldn't understand why they had such big spacers to go on for these blades. And the guy that trimmed these up for me told me that he didn't see why I would need them either. It looked like it'd make it more wobbly than to be up on the bottom of that deck where they're supposed to be. So we had these cut same hole, same size as the thing. It won't work. Get my ground level. Oh, look. Ah, there they are. Okay. So don't worry about that. It's hard getting this thing to balance out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these on with the original bolts, since these right here are basically the same thickness as my original blades are, and that should alleviate my problem with the longer bolts. Perfect. Well, I had these trimmed down, and I'm going to put a link in the description in case there's anybody local that wants to take something by and have him work on it. My son-in-law had a aluminum wheel on a Dodge Ram truck that he had curbed and knocked a big old chunk out of it. I took him over there and he fixed that wheel for 20 bucks. Perfect, it ran true and everything. Get on there. All right, I'll go with it. Alright, nothing to do now but to set the deck down and put it back on and try it out here in the field for a second. I want it to get a little taller than I had it the last time I cut. So I'm just going to do a quick little test to see how, if these blades smack each other anymore, which I don't think they will. Yeah, I don't know if that little bit of dirt underneath the deck there is going to keep me from loading it up, but we're going to try. like to check, make sure that all the connections made it whenever I do that. And sometimes I have problems with it. I'm just going to show you that pile of mud and grass clippings that was there. I run over with it. It took it and threw it all over there in the fine dust. Now I gotta wash cars. Okay, I've got my wheels on my deck set. I'm gonna go over here in this tall grass, do a little test cut, and see how it does. And by the way, they didn't clap together when I ran over that little dust pile. Figure right in here would be a good spot. I'm gonna see how it throws grass out over here too. Okay, this first stripe that I made, I didn't have it all the way down to where it belongs. The second stripe I made, I had it all the way down. But looks pretty good. The one thing I've noticed already is that I don't have that grass piling up at the end of the row when I'm going down. And of course I'm gonna wait and let this grass, it's only about, it's probably about 6 inches tall right now. I'm gonna let it get about another 4 to 5 inches and give it a good test. But man, if it does as good as that right there looks, I'll be tickled. Guys, let me explain something. I bought these Megmo blades on my own money. Nobody's paid endorsement or anything on that. I just wanted to see if they worked as good as what I've seen on YouTube from these other guys. And that little strip right there, I mean, that's kind of a test, but it's not a good test. But I had to do some slight modifications. And I don't know if it's because, like I said, the gentleman that I talked to on the phone, he just got through burying his wife, and I know he's having some problems and everything. And I don't blame him for not having always thinking there with him at the time. But the problem I ran into on these blades was at full length from blade tip to blade tip, it was 21 and an 1/8 long. My John Deere blades are 20 and 7/8 long. And the other thing is the spacers that they gave me to mount these things to the bottom of the pulley there where the little collar is weren't the right size hole. And I went ahead and eliminated those and drilled out the main part of the blade and had it where it'd slide over that collar, and the only thing then was the original bolt and washer that held the old blades on is now holding on the new blades. So, you know, and if I'd left all that on there, I would have had at least a 1/2 inch difference in my height wise, if that makes any sense to you guys. Then on this one, I think it's just a slightly over a 1/4 inch. So I can deal with a 1/4 inch difference, and because I already know where to set my blades down to and all that with the old blades, and it's going to take a little getting used to on this one. But the guy at the machine shop told me, he said, man, those things were really hard to drill and really hard to grind down. And I told him that I tried grinding the tip off one of them where they had been hitting together and wore a flapper disc out on the grinder. And I just quit. I mean, I gave it about 30 seconds and I seen it wasn't doing anything, so I didn't do anything else with it. But, you know, I don't expect them to have a warranty on it or anything because I modified it the way I did it to suit me. And I'm not telling anybody else out there to do what I did, but, you know, do it at your own risk. But I did it just to see if it was going to make my life easier. And that's the only reason I did it. So, I don't know if I think I'll wait before I put this out and get a couple of pictures of the grass being mowed. We hadn't had any rain now in like 7 days, and the grass is not growing as fast as it normally does, so I'll probably gonna have to cut this field one more time, and won't have to deal with them crawdad mounds until next year. But that's the biggest reason why I wanted these blades, because the original John Deere blades, I'm having to sharpen them things every time that I mow that field. And it was just flat wearing them out. You get those old mud mounds and you run over about 200 of them. And you saw the mess I scraped out from underneath my deck. And that was after I went ahead and when I got through mowing, I hooked the water hose up to it, and a lot of stuff came out from underneath it. And I thought it was clean until I brought it up here and dropped that deck, and I realized it wasn't. But everything came off pretty good because I believe I soaked it with that WD-40 to give that metal some protection. And I'm tickled with the way it started out and everything. And just as long as I don't have any clapping and clanging going on, I'm happy. So hang in there, and hopefully here in the next day or so, we're supposed to get a little bit of rain, and this grass pops up pretty quick. So we'll finish the video out with a couple of photos of what it looks like after I mow. So you guys like and subscribe. I'm Steve, and everybody secretly loves me. You know that's my channel. So we'll see you, and y'all have a good day.